the results, Mick. 1 win in 17. It can't go on like this, can it?
It can.
Mike.
Bloody kids. Kids are a nightmare. Sorry, folks. Ben muted me earlier while I was doing a cup of tea, and I forgot to uncheck the mute. Anyway, good evening, folks. So we decided after the watch-along today with Carl and I that had to come up with something. And those that were watching the watch-along know that we have had sound issues again. But yeah, we wanted to try and just bring a bit of humour towards the show tonight. It is difficult. I've got the characters out tonight as well, the LED lights, and one of them hiding behind his Argyle shirt there, which is what I feel like maybe doing tonight. Carl, evening to you. How are you feeling after that earlier?
Yeah, not great, if I'm honest. I thought the first half was the turning point, and then we had to witness the second half, which was, less than that about the better. We'll save that for later, but yeah, not great.
Yeah, and don't disagree with you, Steve, up in the top comment there. You guys are either very brave or very stupid for wanting to talk about this some more. Most fans want a drink to forget. I've also run out of cider in the fridge, so I'm on to tea. Gavin, he's back after just over a week in the glorious Lanzarote sunshine. He's back to, more crap, basically, of football standards. How you doing, Gavin? How was your break?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, very nice. As everyone can see, I left my tan in customs. Anything to declare? Yes, I'm ginger. There you go. So I'll go red and white. But no, very nice break with the kids and the wife. Thank you. When Teague and Finn missed pretty much that open goal, the piano bar got a shock as I maybe forgot where I was and shouted a rather large expletive, rhyming with ruck, and even the pianist sort of stopped and looked and went, and I kind of necked my old fashioned, said my apologies and said, sorry, we just missed an open goal, and turned my iPad round because I had my pods in, which was probably the highlight really of watching Argyle away. And watch today. Thanks very much.
Stephen Cooper saying, nice to see you back, Gavin. Looks like my reindeer, that side, sorry, because this is flipped. It's given up the ghost, just like Argyle today.
It was all right for the first half, and then second half, we just turned the lights out.
Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. I've just got... Oh, what's this? Oh, we got Voodoo's joining us live. Oh, give us a second, guys.
Excuse me. Right. Block 9 podcast fans and fellow Argyle fans, that today was enough. Leaving Teague Finn out of the squad was also unacceptable. Tom, you said judge me after 15 games. Young man, your time is now up. Well, it's time to relax and watch this Block 9 podcast. Good evening, Greens.
Oh, dear. Hopefully that was loud enough. I could tell it was a bit quiet on my playback, but...
it's nice to see you got the bedspread in the post.
Say again?
I said it's nice to see you got the bedspread in the post.
Well, over the last few lives, he said about having some bed sheets and that branded up for the merchandise shop. And I thought I'd drop that in there. But
is he going to be on commission now? Now he's endorsed them?
He's absolutely. Well, he didn't. The clip I showed him earlier didn't have that bit on there because I always like to leave a little bit off.
I really hope they were dry sheets as well, Voodoo.
His lawyers will be instructing now for a 20% commission on all future revenue as we speak, knowing him.
Yeah, well, he was back enjoying his meal again, see? And 2 glasses of wine, which he actually appreciated, the 2 glasses of wine. So, folks, let me just go to... Oh, there he is. Voodoo, did you see the whole clip, including the bit I added on? I didn't show you earlier. Hopefully. If not, I'll play it again later. Right, let me just read out some of the comments on this dark and dreary day. So we've got Spencer in as well. Evening, Spencer. Stephen Cooper's in. Paul Wilcox says, genuinely think we deserve to be bottom of the league. No team is more soulless than us right now. GT saying TC is terrible. He has to go. Bottom of League One. What a joke. Paul Bailey, evening. Paul, who came in on on the show as well while Gavin was off. By the way, Andy's got his son's graduation. If he weren't with us Thursday, that's why he's not with us. And I just felt really, to be honest, I didn't want to invite anybody else on to suffer this anymore. Just seen his interview afterwards, Paul says, and it's the same as last week. Please say something different, losing the faith now. Stephen Vaughan's in as well, evening Stevie. CJ's in as well. There he is. Sorry, he was in there earlier. Voodoo. Lights, camera, and action. Spencer saying, literally, this cheers me up every Saturday because Argyle is so bad. Cheers for that. And we try and cheer ourselves up. I think we're going to go senile in a minute. Steve says, you guys are either very brave or very stupid. I read that one earlier. Quanah time up the town. Fair play to you. Both clubs were in a bit of a tricky situation going into this game, and you guys managed to pull it off. Alex Head says, oh, hello there, gents. Can we have some positive, please? And there's a few more. Lewis Walker, don't recognise you, so welcome to the show. It can go on like this, it can. Yeah, hence my starter clip. I had to bring that in. Accidental Pilgrim saying, brilliant Voodoo. Nicholas G, I looked at the bench and it said it all. Yeah, absolutely. And Tegan Finn was not even on it, which I just can't accept that. Cornish Casual says, Halloween is over and yet the horror show continues. Right, I will carry on, or Jack Smith just dropping in there. Anyone else think this is a massive slow car crash? Please, TC, if you know what's best for the club, leave us. Carl's just disappeared, but he's back in. Hang on, there we go. Let's get him back on.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, no, you're bottom now. Like Argyle. So, folks, judge me after 14 games, and that 14 games is 15 matches, 4 wins, 1 draw, and 10 defeats, as Gavin seems to be jumping out. We might have some dodgy...
We've got some connection issues somewhere.
Yeah,
there's a voodoo in the text somewhere.
There is, yeah. So, we'll just keep going. I mean, I suppose not everybody wants to see and talk more about this Argyle.
I was joking earlier about Joe cutting the power lines. She's not doing it, is she?
Yeah, you did say that. Trying to switch off my broadband. So, yeah, like I said, 15 games in, and that was where he said to judge us. I mean, Gavin, I'm going to come to you because obviously we haven't heard your views for a few games now. And I think it is difficult. Obviously, I'm of that view now. First half, there was definitely some improvement. Said this on the watch along, but the late goal and then the second half was just another not complete collapse, but we were just all over the show. And this confidence thing, well, it can't continue, but it seems to be continuing. And whatever is happening in training, and I don't blame it all on Cleverly because they have a job to do, but just it's not clicking.
No. Sadly, we're very fragile as a unit. And, there's a bit of Rooney-itis going on at the minute. I think they've had a healthy dose of we're all right and we're combative until we go 1-0 down, and then it's like a sandcastle at high tide. And it's flattened before you can even take your shells away, unfortunately. I see the reindeer's back. See, the promotion pushes on. It's crying out, and we've obviously got ruling now, so it's crying out for some experience in the middle of the park. Sadly, today I don't think McCabe had his very best game, and didn't have any bite in the tackle. Boateng seems to have gone backwards at a rate of knots. Who was probably 10 games in our best player consistently. And now he's decided to go missing in action. I sent you a text while I was away saying 4-4-2, play all of our centre halves across the back four. Thou shalt not pass. Pack the midfield with as many combative players as we can, and leave Talai and Oseni or whoever else up front. Patterson doesn't really matter. Finn, and I still think we need to do that. The big I suppose challenges at the minute is the continuation of the panic after every loss, and it's another 4 changes and it's another formation change. And I think in this instance, if you're a bit more seasoned and got a bit more battle scars, you probably just say we'll go 4-4-2. We might change the personnel, but we'll absolutely be hard to beat, and we'll give that 5 or 6 games, or how long he gets given to stay in the job. And if we get a couple of 0-0s I think I texted a group when we went to Stoke last January, that was a thou shall not pass. Hazard, I think, got booked in 30 minutes for time wasting from falling on the ball, which was utter class. And that sort of really pictured the performance of the day. I think we had one shot in the whole game, but we got 0-0, right? I think if we'd done that today, people would be going, where's the start in it? If you won Tuesday night, then you go, okay, we've got a couple of weeks now to get on the training ground. But we just didn't. And I think that, the back four today, Saranola, I thought had a poor game without picking anybody out. His tracking back was all but non-existent. I think he thought he was playing wing back still, which put a lot of pressure on Ross and in the middle of the park. Galloway had a bit more support on the left-hand side, so that looked a lot better. And then the midfield were kind of in the second half. What angers me is people are looking for an outlet. Hazard's got the ball at his feet, Ross has got the ball at his feet, and they start doing a out of confidence Jordan Houghton and marking themselves when we're in possession with their players. And you've got to be brave, haven't you, in this instance? And you've got to have a pair of bollocks, basically. Sorry. For the children behind, and you've got to want to be brave and take the ball on, and the bit for me, I suppose, that summed it all up was what's the name, Lee Makel on commentary, who his voice is like sandpaper on sunburn.
Sandpaper on sunburn. That's good.
But he made a bloody good point halfway through, and he clearly lost his shit. Because he said, basically, where's the body language? We're 2-0 down. Why aren't we absolutely, venting every split, busting our balls here, venting the spleen to try and win the ball back? Look at the body language. We're not harassing to try and win the ball back. It's like they don't care. That's what he said on commentary. Yeah, and then at the end, he thought, oh, shit, I'm going to get the sack from doing this. And he went, oh, I was a bit emotional earlier. I think that, it got the better of me and I was a bit too passionate. And fair play to Robin Nichol. He said, no, that's exactly what the fans want to hear. And that was, I think, the thing for me is if you look at a Schumacher side or a Lowe side, you go 1-0 down, it's like jackals, isn't it? It was like a wolf pack. They're like, well, give me the ball back. We're going to go and get another goal and we're going to put this right. And it just feels like there's a lot of players on that side that when we go 1-0 down, that extra bit of bite, that extra bit of footing, that extra bit of effort goes, and they sort of become very passive on the field, and that for me is probably the most disconcerting thing. And I don't really think you can blame TC for that, if I'll be honest. It probably needs an absolute taskmaster now, a sergeant major in the training ranks, to just absolutely put the fear of God in this young side, because it all probably feels a bit too nice and a bit, oh, let's give you psychology because you're not putting your foot in and all that. And these are, absolute basics, not non-negotiables, that when you 1-0 down in a football match and you're about to be bottom of the league, you put your foot through not one, but two players at the same time, and you're absolutely multiply aggressive. And if you get sent off for being reckless, I'd much prefer that than Cornell Such jockeying a guy for 25, 30 yards from 5 yards away and watch him slot it in the bottom corner where, Connor Hazard doesn't even have a chance to move. I'd much prefer that, if I'll be honest.
Gavin, there was probably that one rough tackle that came from Boateng that was a bit OTT, got him a yellow. But you felt, the ref was giving out yellows for, and you're thinking, what? And there's an element of where then there's 5 Argyle players on a yellow at half time, or give or take 4 or 5. And it's on ice because of that. So that doesn't help either, does it?
No, I'd much prefer us to be over aggressive and be men possessed and have 2 sent off for really wanting and caring too much, than having what we had today, which was pretty awful in terms of when we went 2 down, especially. It was like a training match. It was like they were playing an exhibition match in pre-season. I just wonder what the likes of Roy Keane, if he was on the middle of our park today, would be saying with the players around him if they took that stance, having gone 1-0 down when you're in the bottom 4. I'm sure he'd be giving someone a right hook in the middle of the pitch and getting
cleverly would have experienced some of those.
Well, exactly. And I said this jokingly last year when Rooney was around. You probably need Roy Keane down for a month just to give these guys a bit of a boot camp. It probably, we do it again. I'm not. I know I'm probably going to be in the minority at the moment, but I'm not in a cleverly out camp yet. But I think we need serious, a serious hand with an old experienced sergeant major who's going to come in and kick these guys at the backside.
Is there someone living up in Ivy Bridge we can give a phone call to?
Yeah, I did spot that earlier actually. So Nigel Pearson does live in Ivy Bridge. And actually, me and James Greenacre, when the Rooney appointment was up, we were like, "Oh, that'd be class, wouldn't it? He's just down the road. That'd be awesome." He's done really well with Bristol City. Obviously, he's severely ill, wasn't he, for a long time, and now he seems to come out the other side of that. I couldn't think we could do much worse.
I tell you what, Gavin, I want to just sort of, for me, and I'm normally a bit like yourself, most of us on here, we always throughout try and give a bit of a balanced view on things. We don't react and too early, and we want to be patient because it doesn't help anyone. And you know what? Things can take time. It's been a rough ride since Schumacher left. We've talked all about that at length, but the biggest thing for me last Saturday and again today, and I actually felt good going into the game. Felt good, before the watch along. But the players did do better in that first half. They were high pressing. They were closing Huddersfield down. They were pitting some tackles in, but that ref was just giving silly yellows, and you thought, "Oh, that's risky now." But it was just that we were dealing with them so well at the back. And I jinxed it with just before the goal, but it was like we were like 2 minutes away from going in level again, and you thought there's a great chance now this half, but we'll come back to that, Voodoo. But I think for me, again in the second half, the heads dropping, as Lee Makel said, and I did catch it while we were trying to present as well. It's just unacceptable. And you've got Hazard as captain and Dale, who's the only one that I see who's trying to give a damn on the pitch. And when he misplaces a pass, getting frustrated with himself when others just go, "Oh, too many underhit passes, mishits, everything." And Cleverly is right, Gav, in his post-match pitch side one that I've watched, where we had 2 or 3 chances in the first half, but Aseni just gets out-muscled off the ball. He tried to do too much in the box with it rather than take a shot. Even at the end of the half where we could have pulled one back, he's created something off the back of Talai, dropping deep to flick it on. But that quality is just missing. But today, to not have that fight, I just can't. That's, for me, I just can't deal with that.
Just on those 3 sort of clear breaks that we never put a shot on goal, to just quote a certain Mr. Cusack from Argyle TV, he talks about repetition of thought, and on the training ground, having that muscle memory of when you get into a position, you do natural things rather than make a run. And we had it last year, didn't we? There was Bambi in the headlights a few times in key areas where didn't shoot, didn't pass, did something a bit, and it was unfortunate. It was either Beidou or El Hadj who did it. It seemed to be every time they were kind of Bambi in the headlights. What I'd give for both of those back now, by the way. But that's a different story. There is a bit of that, I think, with Aseni, because yes, it's lack of confidence, but if you're in confidence, and Talai probably still is. He's the only one who probably is zoning all this out. He took his goal really well. You just hit it, don't you? He's right there. It is. Bang! I'm scoring. Right. End of chat. Asani's a lot. Not a lot younger, but he's a few years younger, but he's a lot less experienced. He hasn't got goals at higher levels. He's still learning his trade. He probably doesn't feel like he's a key member of the squad. So therefore, when he gets it, it is Bambi in the headlights. And you just don't do one thing or the other. I would sooner he's had he twats at a goal and it goes 4 feet over. At least then you go, oh, well, he's made a decision. Both times he got it, went, oh, I'm in here. Oh, hang on. And then they get back and it goes back to the midfield and you go, oh, that's another one wasted.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew T, what is the style of play to lose every game? No, of course it isn't. But there is just that there. I mean,
it's a genuine question though regarding what is our style at the moment? Because I'm struggling to see any kind of style or backbone to what we're actually doing or trying.
Well, you're trying to not concede, aren't you? Like Gavin said, ideally, it changes every game.
What is the game plan?
Yeah. And that's for me where I think it's worrying the most, isn't it? And I don't know now if that's starting to filter into the players a little bit. You know, it's a silly. I mean, you're right, Gavin. Sorinola was overrun by Mikel Miller and that number 11 of theirs as well. And you know, and he struggled a bit there. And obviously the pressure, was on all of them today. But I just for me, I'm not. I said after the show to Carl that I don't want to rinse and repeat tonight, and it was good to have Gavin on because Gavin hasn't had a chance to express his views, so we can get that across, and I think you've done that well. I think there is some sound problems, Voodoo, you're right, with Gavin still saying TC, he's not completely out yet. But if we just parking all of that to one side on the game at the moment, you know, as I said, he was asked to judge me on 15 games, and as the stats say, you know, we've won 4, we've drawn 1, and we've lost 10. And what is equally so frustrating is the losses in these last 4 games. You know, Exeter, Wickham, Mansfield, Wickham, and then Huddersfield today. Apart from Huddersfield, who are in 9th, and I don't know where they've gone to now, those other teams weren't great. They were also not in great form. You know, they weren't brilliant. And we just absolutely, sorry, Sophie, look shit. Yeah. So and there are players in that squad that are better than that. And they really, really are. And we've all discussed this. We've had it in the comments. But just for me, it's just been the worst spell of football for a long time, and it is worrying. I'm going to come to the comments. Let me just scroll back on my chat view because there's been a lot. So thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'll also pick up the post-match presser as well that I know Carl and Gavin have both seen. So where we go in here, right, here we go. Steve says, seriously now would be ideal time to sack him. Well, we've got obviously a game on Tuesday in that virtual that we're doing well in, positively, but obviously it's a break because of the Bradford game before the next league game. Stephen Vaughan saying, just think we're 15 points off top of the league, reasons to be cheerful. That's it. Someone said, look for the positives. Andrew P. Heathman, don't recognise your name, but welcome from Facebook. The voter confidence statement is wearing well. Steve also says, no game for 2 weeks now, so would be ideal time to act, but will they and have the club learn anything from last season? Julian Holiday, who joins us from Facebook as well and comments on our post. So evening to you, Julian. Confidence is low. There is no fight from the players, and 5 defeats says it all. It's time for Tom Cleverley to go and pick Kevin Nanscoville and Joe Edwards in temporary charge. Wouldn't disagree. Until a new coach is appointed. So Argyle board, wake up and smell the coffee, he says. AP Accidental Pilgrim says, something terrible is happening before our eyes. TC is a smashing fella. We all like him, I think. He works hard and has really bought into the club. We have some decent players, but they are not gelling. Damien Goodall says, we bought in Rouse on a short-term basis. What other positions on the pitch do we think we're going to be similar before January? Come back to that later. Harvey also dropped in on the chat. I don't know if he's still there, but he said, evening, fellas, gut-wrenching today. I do have his video, so I shall play that soon. My nemesis, 123, we urgently need a free agent striker to help Talai, similar to when we bought in Andre Gray last season. Aseni, Pepple, Hatch, a non-league level, not good enough. Talai needs help. Just actually, just I'll pause there, Gavin. The Joe Hatch thing. So he gets recalled back, and then you're also like thinking, well, most of our loans are not getting games anyway. Zach is another one. But is that a statement? And then he goes straight onto the bench today, which you have to say then in favour of dropping Tegan Finn, which I just completely didn't agree with, and was desperate to see Finn start today. But Hatch came on and obviously wasn't able to do too much. He's not going to be up to the speed and pace of this league. But why is he not using one youngster then, Gavin, that's played in a few games or a few minutes and whose confidence is high, whose ability is high? And then I know different positions, but we bring Hatch back and then throw him in as a sub, or into the squad and in as a sub. I don't get that.
I think it's head scramble, mate, if I'll be honest. I think it's Eddie Port in a storm at the minute. His head's all over the show. And just thinking back earlier to Rooney last year when it all started to unwind he brought in probably one of the best assistant managers that's ever been in the Premier League, albeit too late. I think he only was here 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I remember sitting at home park watching him after his first week of training, and our out of possession stuff reminded me of actually a little bit of a bald man who we dragged out of Saudi Arabia. And he was, not you, mate. You weren't in Saudi. You're right. And I thought actually our out of possession work there under him was very good, and you'd expect it to be when he's an out of possession coach in an England side. It needs something like that, doesn't it? It needs an old hand to stick their arm around the shoulder and say, look, you're literally jumping from pillar to post. We need to have an identity, even if you don't agree with it at the moment. The players need it too, because you've gone 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1. Then we played 3-5-2, and now we're playing. What was it today? 4-4-2.
No, we think
that's
it was
all.
Well, today he said we played a 4-4-2 block, and in possession we went into a 4-3-3.
And in possession 3-4-3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The Electrum Kiss, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Needs to be there. Well, just play 4-4-2. Have Galloway at left back, Ross and Mitchell in the middle, Such on the right. Play Rule and Boateng and McCabe and Ibrahim in midfield, 4 people that can actually, on the day win a tackle, and then play someone up top, doesn't matter who, with Dale, Patterson, Finn, with Talai, and just say, we're not going to be beaten. And it's going to be turgid, and and it will be a bit Pulis-esque, but we didn't give a monkeys when we were winning under Pulis. Let's be candid. It was we've gone to a ball fest, 1-1, they'll move on. There needs to be some identity. And it just feels like the old brain's scrambled, and it's like, well, what should we do now? We've changed another 4 players, now another 4 players. He needs to just pick a team and say, right, come hell or high water, I'm gonna just run with this for 3-4 games, and it'll get better and it'll get better, and we'll get a result, and then off we go. Because I have to say, so some of the stuff that Steve said in the chat, this league is dog shit.
Yeah.
And we're bottom of it.
Yeah.
There's been no one that's I've seen blown us away, really.
No.
It's just been
awful.
terrible.
The Cardiff are the best team in the league, and they're sitting 5th or whatever they are. We blew Stockport away. They're top of the league. The league's not very good, guys. And I think if we got a bit of rigidity, a bit of stabilisation, tactics that are going to fit this team and not try and play a bit too through the thirds and and I think we'd do okay. I think we'd go on a run. And then you bring the likes of Amici and Caleb Watts back in the new year, and you go, oh, actually, we got some flair players now. Maybe we can adapt the system slightly.
Yeah, I think there's Paul Bailey said even Natska will look broken today on the sidelines when they cut to a shot of the dugout. And you're right, you want that, as you said earlier, Gavin, about that Sergeant Major. And Carl, I think, for me, I would want Nance to, he's a nice bloke, but I absolutely reckon he does get in there and really G you up in a constructive or positive way, but it's like you just feel like it feels broken. And there's not even, that goal that Talai got, second shot on target. The first one was Soranola's 40-yard strike. That was all we had again all game. But we're not getting that goal and seeing then the sort of the gelling of the pitch dugout camera. Get my words out. Where they're cheering and celebrating. You saw all that even under Rooney in days when we managed to get a goal and take a lead. And it's like it just doesn't feel like there's that there. And when you haven't scored that first goal in however long it was, the Wigan game, was it? That penalty, I think it was. It's just from open play, it's just like it's awful. And this league, all due respect to all the other teams in it, because we are in it and we are bottom. We were relegated and we are now in it and we are bottom. But the better teams, we played in the first few games and actually got most of our results. And yet we can't do anything against the poorer sides. Well, clearly we're the poor man now, but the poorer sides in the league, Carl.
Sorry, just one second. Andrew Gore says...
You're not called Carl, Gav.
No, sorry, I just have to get this off my chest. I've never seen a fan base with such low bar, right? This will be our 6th fucking manager in 2 years, right? We are not Watford. We are not Hull, right? It needs stability. That's why we're trying to cling on to some kind of and you're saying it's low expectations. It's not low expectations. It's desperation to try and get some kind of modicum of stability and normality in the squad, because this is like every 6 months, Christmas, let's get a new manager and move on.
It's very hard to get stability when we're hiring poor coaches. And I think the evidence of Foster and Rooney and then going into Cleverley, yes, which we could have said on paper at the start of the season, we were all happy that he was coming in. But the record at the second half of the season at Watford was alarming. And that's continuing into our season. And there's no evidence of him turning it around at Watford, hence why he got the sack. And there's no evidence here as yet that we're going to turn the corner with him here either. We scored 2 goals in the last 5 games, which is far from good enough. They seem to be scoring at really awkward times, like when the game's gone. That's when we suddenly start to play or look like we're going to do something. If we scored at 2-0 down, I could understand, but at 3-0 down, the game's gone. With only a few minutes left, you're not going to get back into it. I'm just struggling to know. Even I know. I think it's hard to even pick the correct 11. So I don't think we've got the strength there or the ability to go for a team for 4 or 5 games, because the ones that are starting at the moment just aren't up to it. Again, the whole team,
He's damned. Sorry, he's damned if you do and damned if you don't. I don't disagree with Gavin, but it's so difficult because we've been so poor that trying to now sustain a squad, and I absolutely get it. You could see you drifting further and further away because it's going to take another 3 to 4 games before they actually start to understand each other. And Aseni aside, and Pepple and that, because they were brought in really as project players. And we know we're missing some key players out. But this is why I just don't understand. Like, Talai proved again today, and I tweeted it afterwards. Fairness to Mumba, he tried to do some stuff when he came on and got into some positions because we have given him flack. He put in a brilliant ball to Talai. And as soon as you give Talai the right ball, whether it's at his feet or to run onto or a header, he's going to bury it away. And as a striker, he must be absolutely crying with anger as well inside, because he's just like, look, that's what I need, folks. Tom, that's what I need. Can you set us up so we can try and somehow get these balls in the box? And I think someone like Finn, Mumba when he is on form, obviously Benarous is not fit, but hopefully back soon. Patterson even can put in good balls to players like that and balls in the box, but we just can't even break that sweat to do it.
Again, the changes he made were questionable, especially at the end. I mean, what a player's going to do with 3 or 4 minutes at the end? What was the point in those substitutions? What was the point of Roberts and Wiradoo coming on for the last 2 minutes? Mind-boggling. No idea. Those subs should have been made earlier. Not the personnel, but subs in general should have been made a lot earlier. I thought Mumba, give him some credit, he did actually look positive when he came on. He still lacks again the final ball, but there was some intensity from Mumba, which was more than who did he go off for? Aseni. There's more intense there from Aseni. So I mean, when Cleverley's saying there's 8, 9, or 10 players suffering with lack of confidence and lacking mentality, who do you actually change in the team? Because we haven't got the option of choosing injuries. We haven't got the option of sticking in another 11, have we? No. I can see what Gavin said, when you Amichi's come back, when you Pleggy's come back, you Watts, but I don't think we've got the luxury to wait until the end of December to turn things around. I think by that time it could be 15 points adrift, and then will the board then be concerned to make a change? I don't think we've got the luxury to wait until then. We need to do it now.
Yeah, I think so. Here's a point, and Gavin, I'll come to you on this one as well now. But we've got this 2-week window. Yes, there is that virtue, and I'm pronouncing it right now. This virtual cup on Tuesday night, but there is a spell now of 2 weeks. What would you? So Cleverley, I don't think is going to go. Obviously, I've picked the start of the show. The countdown had the flag on it. I've changed the title today, about how much more can we go on. But I don't feel that they will make a decision because of Paul Byrne's statement, excuse me, in the Herald this week. But Gavin, so what do you expect, and what should you expect them to sort of do now over the next 2 weeks? What's the first thing when you sit down on Monday, are you going to sort of be saying as a coach or as a team?
I think you need to have a senior players and coaching staff meeting. Who the senior players are?
As I say, that's not many.
Galloway,
Joe Rules, and Joe Edwards, isn't it?
Well, Galloway. Rules, Edwards, Talai would, even though he's young, he's probably fits in that bracket. Such and Pleggy probably. Do you have a sit down and you say, right, give us some feedback. How do you think we should play? Because sometimes if you're being put into a system or a formation or a type of game that you're not comfortable with, then that's not going to work. I personally think they should go 4-4-2. I personally think they should become hard to beat. The one thing I would do if it was me is I'd be on the blower and I'd be trying to find a good defensive specialist coach now. Right? I tweeted John Sitton the other day out of pure desperation / banter while I was on holiday, saying, Sits, you obviously someone like Sits in the change room now saying, bring your dinner. You little so and so, and you little so and so outside, and we'll be tearing this up. It's probably a little bit of what they need actually. Maybe John Sitton can get out of his black cab in London and come down and spend a few days on the grass. But we need a defensive coach now, because I don't care what's happening. You can be saying, "Oh, we're trying hard on the training pitch." Well, clearly defensive patterns, getting goal side. I mean, the goal today, Saranola's already 2.5-3 yards the tap in. The wrong side of the player. That's basics. Goal side. You get taught that under lines, under 10s.
And it was a one really decent bit of attacking play, and it did undo us. They took that well.
It was like a hot knife through butter. And just pre that as well, both Saranola and Ibrahim both gave the ball away cheaply, and it meant we were camped in our penalty box for 3 consecutive corners, which then got their tails up, which meant they scored. These are basics of football, right? In my opinion. So to use a rugby analogy, and I know that I don't know if Ninja's in, but you just got to stick it at your jumper and play 10-man rugby for a bit. You've got to just be horribly hard to play against and beat. And I think you pick all 4 available centre halves, because Galloway can definitely play left back, Such can definitely play right back. They've both done it. Have Ross and Mitchell in the middle, and just say thou shalt not pass. Right, that's it. That's the fundamental, and that's what I'd be going with on Monday. And then you build from there. I think we've got to get rolling as quickly as possible. God, we need a general in the middle of the park who can put a foot on the ball, and then it's who you play alongside him. I would have said McCabe up until today, but McCabe went missing today when the heat of the battle. He whimpered out and become a bit obsolete. It'd probably be Boateng. So there's your 2, and then you play 2 either side of that who have got a bit of defense. You're probably playing Joe. What's his name?
Joe Rules.
No, Joe Rules in the middle of the park. Sorry. Where did he play today? My brain's gone. I have to get my low up 11.
Joe Hatch.
No.
Sorry. Joe who?
Hang on, I'm going to tell you now.
So, while he looks that up.
Sorry, it's not even Joe. Owen, sorry. Owen Dale. You play Owen Dale on the left, or Mumba on the left, and Owen Dale on the right, because he's a right footer. There's your midfield, and then you play 2 up top to lie with. I'd probably go someone like Finn or Patterson. They're not going to be physical, but they're running behind. Or you just stick Mumba up top, actually, because I actually thought he did bloody well today. And it just reminded me of that game last year when Miron stuck him up in one the right-hand 10, Jan, and we had an absolute worldie. He made one and scored one.
That's probably what we'll do. We'll stick Mumba up top and then play it long.
That's all right. Because Talai can just get underneath his and just lift him up like a line out. It'd be fine. It's no problem at all.
Even Mitchell bloody did well when he went up front. If you really want to mix it up, I mean,
that's what I would. So to answer your question for Monday morning, 4-4-2. Pick that team, train them all week, right? Play them on Tuesday night. Hopefully, they absolutely spank the gas into next week. Give them a bit of confidence, and then just say, "This is the side, boys and girls." For the remainder, until we can until basically we get Amici, Caleb, and Watson and Pleggy back.
Have you got any confidence we can spank a League 2 team at this moment in time?
Use that term loosely.
Depends how many paddles you put in your kit bag. Well, I mean, the Gas are having
That's
a
a no.
shot season in League Two. So, I mean, I did say, Dave and I were tweeting earlier, and I said, we'll have a confidence 1-0 win against the Gas, own goal, and that will set us off.
I mean, it might be a good early indication for next season.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, exactly right. It might well be that, but I just think you've got to set up not to lose a football match at the moment, and playing all nice triangles and through the thirds and that is lovely, in it, but not at the moment, because we're as fragile as anything. We really are, and it's not just physically fragile; it's mentally. You go one down, and that's it. They're all waving the white flags. They might as well be from Belgium or fucking France.
One of my mates has just WhatsApp me. I don't know if he's watching. He's just said, "Are you going to do a poll, cleverly in or out?" I know Argyle Life shared the Pizzotti one earlier, which was quite. Now Pizzotti is that's why they posted it, because it's unusual, and it was almost all the way up to saying out. So no, we're not going to do a poll on that. There's no point. It will be pretty obvious, and it will only be the X responses to that, but it's going to still be quite high overall, sadly. Let me read some comments out, and then I'm going to go to Harvey's video in a second. Graham Byrne, and who did comment on my audio earlier. Again, thanks, Graham. Unfortunately for Tom, it is a results business, and we're not getting any, and don't look like getting any. Argo 83, who was on as well earlier. Uncle Sustainable Sigh, it's time to go and take Rooney's mate with you, but he's got to find someone to buy it. Like I said, and I warned you, if he just decides to cut off all funding, that could be dangerous too. But I understand the feeling. Kashmir Kamot. What about Mackenzie? He's always injured. Yep. I don't even know if we'll ever see him.
It really is mind-boggling, because at Aberdeen, over 4 years, he was literally there.
Played 40 games a year.
Yeah.
Played 40 games a year every year. So
yeah. So hang on 2 seconds. Andy Prowse, good evening, mate. How many quality footballers actually make good managers and coaches? Not many come to mind. Maybe his ability expects too much when you really need League One gnarly defenders. Nicholas G, if we lose to Bristol Rovers on Tuesday, does he go then? That's the other problem. Carl, if we play a team, or Gavin, you were giving your thoughts on that, sorry, then if they lose on Tuesday, it could just even be, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. Stephen Cooper, even Huddersfield manager said they did not set up, we were going to, know how we were set up to go and play. Sorry, Steve, didn't quite clear that one. Andy Richards, we seem to be getting players in that are already injured. What are we? A recuperation centre for waifs and strays. AP saying it's the coaching team's responsibility to instill confidence and belief. We did touch up on Elliot Turner as well in the last couple of shows, and his conditioning and actually his attitude on the pitch as well, getting the players ready. PTR47GY, good evening to you, mate. 2 weeks for the new head coach to bed in his ways, makes the most sense. Trouble is, it's sense that is lacking in the boardroom. Dave So, can't see any change under TC. If anything, we look worse now than we did in August. Can't keep blaming injuries. It's like a broken record. And even to you too. Mr. Magoo was in as well earlier. Evening, Mr. Magoo. There's loads in here. Benny Van Life Manning just got sacked as well. Wouldn't want him. My Nemesis 123. Yeah, absolutely right. If you're a stats fan, the XGs say it all. Today, 0.41. This is goal XG. Wickham 0.18, Mansfield 1.61, Exeter 0.56, and Wimbledon 0.69. Ben Bennett Flooring, who sits in the row in front of us at the Block 9 at Home Park, which feels like a distant memory now. Hi guys, sorry to say, but Argyle needs to sort it out. It's not, it will be League Two. We'll always be an Argyle fan, but it's very frustrating indeed. There's a few more in there, but there's a lot to read. I'm going to just load up because I didn't get it ready.
Gavin, in your opinion, do you think it'd be wise to get rid of him before we play at home next? Because I just fear that the toxicity is going to be the highest we've ever seen if he's still in charge for Northampton.
Hang on, let me come back. Yeah.
I'll caveat that. So yes, I think if we lose at Port Vale, yeah. Now, if you're smart as a club now, which other clubs are, you're already talking to managers, aren't you? Right?
Well,
You're
surely
already-
behind the scenes, even if they are thinking about getting
Well,
rid of him,
you're
you've already got
already-
a short list of who you want to.
What was I watching the other day? Where
Traitors?
Oh no, it wasn't traitors. No, it was. I tell you what it was. It was Roy Keane again talking about when they sacked the Irish guy for not Forest, and he literally said the guy was still clearing his desk, and they had named the new manager.
Yeah,
It was 40 minutes after the game, and he was in packing his stuff up, having a glass of wine. And on Sky Sports at the bottom, it says, "Not Forest have appointed so and so as a new manager." I'm not saying you go that quick, right? I'm not saying you do. But surely you're having conversations with potential new managers now to say, look, we're going to give him a couple more games. We've got Tuesday and Saturday next week, and then we've got a week off. It's Tuesday and then Saturday week, isn't it? So Port Vale away, and then we're not home then until the 29th. Then we're into December.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm gonna say it now because, and I always try and be respectful. But do you know what? I absolutely do not feel like we would be talking to anybody at all. That's how I said this on Thursday night's show with Paul Burns' interview. I mean, fair play to Chris Errington to get it's a 2-part interview as well for the Herald, and it's almost like that to me just didn't feel like the right time after putting a statement out where unfortunately, and for Paul, he said, I promise you, I'll guarantee you it will get better. Well, it obviously hasn't. It's 2 games where we're now bottom in the league. But I understand Paul's still adjusting to that role. And I stick by my point that Simon has appointed him because he wants someone he can trust with his money. But for me, I just fear with that interview and they're sort of standing behind him and the long-term plan, and it isn't all TC's fault, but I just don't think they would have been speaking.
I mean, I don't want to be too happy-clappy, but I thought the statement in general was a good one.
Yeah.
The whole quote regarding "we're not concerned" was the doer for me and probably most of the fan base.
I can see why Paul's saying that. He's not at the desk yet, right? He's kind of doing this via.
He'd be pulling a few shifts, Gav, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but he's still trying to run a 40-odd million turnover business, right? Day to day, and then trying half a job to take on a new role, which is in quite big turbulence. So I think he's damned if he do and he's damned if he don't. If he says, concerns, right? Wolf. Oh, well, you should get rid of him then. La 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 la. I think. I'm putting words in Paul's mouth a bit here, and Paul came to our table at Diamond actually a few weeks ago, and I had 20 minutes and I thought he was a stand-up guy. I think what he's doing there is saying it's early in the season, we're not that concerned. If we were mid-Feb, different conversation, right? I think it's like, oh, here we go. I think that's what he's trying to say, but you know what it's like in any press interview, and I have to say that Chris is probably the best out there. He's wasted really at Plymouth Live. He should be doing nationals. But you can easily misconstrue anything that's said on that written statement as it comes out, and we don't know the context around it. And I'm just a little bit like, but look, the optics aren't good whichever way you play this, are they? Let's be candid. There we go. I've got it in.
Let's be candid.
They're not.
Wasn't long.
Let's be candid. They're not, are they? They're not good whichever way you look at it.
No, I see Andy was just appeared in the comments as well, and he just said, just had a couple of all spot ales and 2 in 1 pie. How's the pod doing? So
2 in 1 pie.
Yeah, I don't know what he means. He's obviously doesn't need any more than 2 ales to start stuttering his words. I think, and we were ribbing the candid point on the other shows, Gav. So it's good to hear it tonight. But yeah, I just feel for me that I don't think they will be, and there might be a bit of squeaky bum trying to go. It's going to turn. Surely at some stage it's going to turn. I do think they'll give it until Port Vale, Gav, I agree, because they are absolutely so lucky in one respect that it's been a run of away games, because it would just be, not everybody in the crowd, because we're not speaking for everybody, but there would be a large contingent that would be very vocal and not happy, and myself included.
That game with Foster was horrible. And
yeah, it was.
When I saw the head of security come back in, and he looked visibly shocked. I was like, "You're right," and he said, "No, not at all." He said, "I've literally just had to all but manhandle some idiots off of Foster and his family and his kids, who were saying they were going to do this and do that and calling him every, see you next Tuesday and la la la, and he's got his little girl there." And I just thought, oh, really? Yeah, he's brought a lot of this on himself, especially the way he handled the press and the players and blah, 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 blah. I get all of that. But no one deserves, it's a job at the end of the day. He's done his best. To be called all that, it's just a bit like, come on.
And as we've learned today or whatever it came out, supposedly, he wasn't even aware of the job and got a phone call coming back from the UAE and asked if he would want to take the job, which, when you...
I thought Neil had nothing to do with it.
He only brought one pair of pants, one pair of socks home from Saudi. He was only here for a couple of days. He ended up staying 3 months and then going on.
Well, he was probably still wearing the same underwear that he brought over with before leaving as well.
If he did, they'd be heavily soiled, my friend, having that last game, I can tell you.
Absolutely. I don't, one thing I don't do, rightly or wrongly, for those that do it, I don't have an issue. If you do, it's your choice. I don't boo. I don't sort of say expletives at certain people. It's just a case of, do you know what? It's not good. I'm not happy with the situation. I want it changed. But it's, for me, going back to my point, I know Benny Van Life said just because they say something positive officially doesn't mean they're not putting the feelers out. I'd like to think they are, but I'd like to think that also maybe a chat has been had with Joe Edwards and Nance to say, because for me, again, if I'm Simon wanting to try and protect the situation, then we saw, Herbie pointed it out as well, as some of you also said yourself, in the Burton game, it was when Cleverley was on the sidelines because of the suspension, and he was able to go in, not obviously he would have discussed setting up the team with Cleverley, but there's that bit of where you just think for the short term it would help. We do not need another manager change, but it feels like it's going to be inevitable coming. We need that time to look.
Mike, I can't remember who said it, but a really good point on X earlier, where they were talking about, bring Nance and bring Joe in to run it temporarily. What if they lose 4-0, 5-0, 4-0, right? Are we then going to start vilifying them? And then you've got a club legend in a skipper, and you've got one of the most loyal coaches ever who go, I've had enough of this. I'm off, right? I ain't taking this crap on a Saturday. That's the risk you run, right? By saying, I'll give it to them for a few weeks. Because if we stay down there, I don't care what anyone says, El Bed Weto and the chums, they're all going to be out. They don't care. It could be Jesus Christ on the touchline. They're still calling their mother, see you next Tuesday, and they're waiting for them in the car park.
But right? I think even if they did take over for a few games and things didn't improve, they wouldn't put that down to Nance and Edwards. We would just realise we've got a terrible squad.
That exactly what I was just going to say. Exactly that. Yeah. Stevie Vaughan saying 8 out of 10.
It wouldn't be on them.
Yeah, 8 out of the 11 players, today started against Burton. I think, the fan base, and tell us in the comments, folks, I think would accept that more so, because you're pitting it in people that you feel like, well, if they can't turn it around, then we really are screwed. And so it could well be a League Two rebuild. But they've got, how they go away and appoint a manager, and do it right. And everything is time pressure, sadly, when you're not doing well. But you've just got to say, look, if it is going to be a hell of a rough ride, then pit two people in it that will at least try and make a go of it. It still might not be pretty, but we'll be accepted. I'd like to think we'd be accepting of that while you find someone that, we all thought, and we agree with the appointment, we thought Cleverley was going to be it, and it isn't. So it doesn't always work out, and there is such a rebuild going on in the club. The biggest thing I said for Paul Byrne, Gavin, is he obviously admitted in the interview as well that he doesn't have that footballing background. We discussed a bit about his profile in that show that we did. Mm-hmm. Surely the biggest thing he needs to do is bring someone into the club that has got that football calibre and experience.
100%. Look at Torquay. They've done it with Warnock because he's down the road. We need... Trevor Reese was on the board. He was a broadcaster, not a footballer, but he understood football enough to be able to say, "Don't do that. I wouldn't look at this." And my understanding that the Rooney appointment was the last straw to break his camel's back, and he was off. We need a director of football. I have to say it, and we've got a head of football operations. We need a director of football, and I think we had one for a while in a certain Mr. Webb who was at Norwich for some time. Bring him back in and sit him on the fucking board for 6 months to the end of the season and say, just come in and sort out this mess, please. Whether that's then, bringing in additional mature coaches to work alongside TC, or whether that's another rebirth and a clean broom again from the coaching staff and just leave Paul Nance sitting there going, hello, who's my next bum chums in black. I don't know, but something needs to be done quickly. Intervention is what it is, and it might be Monday morning. Right, we're bringing in a defensive coach. He's going to work with you guys. He's managed in the Premier League or whatever it is, or we need an old head to go calm. Let's just set ourselves up really well. And surely he sees this, TC. He's worked for some of the best managers that ever walked the earth, for God's sake.
Yeah. Do you generally think a defensive coach is going to turn things around that dramatically? That will save his job.
Don't forget his coaching staff are inexperienced as well, aren't they? We were talking about that.
And then we've got a new goalkeeping coach, and Hazard's looked not great since he's come in.
No, actually, he's had a week with him, 2 weeks max, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can say anything there, but. Yeah, Such is not a bad defender. Ross is not a bad defender. I think Ross is a very good defender. Mitchell is not a bad defender, right? Galloway is not a bad defender. None of them are. They've all got good track records of being good defenders. At the moment, they're just not doing the basics, so their mind is scrambled, right? But get goal side, players are four, communicate better, know when to get rid, get your head in front of the ball, win your duels, all the usual buzzwords and bollocks that go around. But having someone just in their ear, special teams. Yeah. And at the moment, I wouldn't say Cleverley was the most renowned player for being the stalwart of a defence. He was a box-to-box midfielder. We haven't got anyone in that squad. Nance isn't blessed. He's a midfielder. There's no one in that squad who say, "Oh, he was a brute of a centre half." Right? He's gonna teach them how to do the basics of the game. And to be honest, defending hasn't really changed much in 40, 50 years, is it? Apart from the fact you play a little bit along the floor now, rather than sticking it up in the air and getting it up the pitch as quickly as possible. But the art of defending, winning the ball, making sure your attackers don't cross and don't score, that's pretty much stayed the same, right?
Yeah, I think Andy's trying to bait us all in the chat as well because he's had too many shandies by trying to suggest that he's gone. But unless someone can confirm that, but I doubt that is the case. But he's probably laughing at us now. But I'm going to catch you out, Mr. Laidlaw. Let me... before I go, because I will now go to Harvey's video after this, but... Gav, you want to see my recent animations, but here's one. Please subscribe. We've got a good number of you watching us on YouTube tonight, so thank you to everybody that's joining us across YouTube, X, and Facebook. Please give us, if you have your YouTube accounts, a subscribe, press a thumbs up on this video, and also the bell so you know when we go live next. Now, our schedule run is typically Thursdays at 8:30. We do our live lounge, for those of you that don't know, many of you do now. Where we preview the match, but we also try and bring a topic into play, which will segue me into Harvey's video in a minute, because we did Life of an Argyle Vlogger last Thursday, and obviously Saturday nights, as you see now, from 8:30 is our post-match show. We've started doing the watch-alongs recently. Carl joined me for the one today. Sadly, the 4 defeats have all been on a watch-along. I may do... Yeah, I know, I haven't experienced... But I did get to
I think they're trying to tell us something.
Say again?
I think they're trying to tell us something.
Yeah, probably. I did get to use my little clip here, which I wasn't able to use, but I got to use it today. All that hard work on
that
the VT.
That was at full time, wasn't it?
Say again?
That was at full time when it was all over.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was. But I'll have a look at Tuesday's game and maybe decide to...
It's on Sky, I think.
Do that one. Right, I need to load it up because I haven't preloaded it, so bear with me a second. I'm just going to bring up Harvey's video.
Right then, so that's full time, Huddersfield Town 3, Plymouth Argyle 1, that's simply not good enough. It's Paul. We had one shot on target our whole second half, and that came from the goal. Fortunately, for the 1,200 travelling fans, we were seeing a goal. One shot on target in that whole second half is abysmal. It's not anything I'm used to. It's not anything a footballing fan should see, a paying footballing fan. And where do we go from here? Cleverley has got to go, and I'm going to say it now. My emotions are running high, but Cleverley has got to go. The state this football club is in, we need a fresh start. And that's going to come from the new start of management. Yes, the problems are higher up, but it starts and stems from the manager's tactics. and this team is not performing. We've got a week off now due to an international break, but will that improve us? Who knows? I'll be back with you for the next one. Come on, please.
So, yeah, I mean, even more raw emotion from Harvey there at the end of the game. He was having problems with trying to pull his video together. He did say to me, if I could shout out, it should be online. Probably around this time now, his full vlog of the game. So go and check that out, Harvey England, over on YouTube. And it was a good show as well. You can catch that back if you go and look in our playlist of live lounges. You'll see that and on Thursday night show. But yeah, it's just that the fans that travel and we bring this up as much as we can, and shout out to them again. They go to every game. Herbie, as Gavin disappears, but I'm sure he'll be back in a second. As Herbie as well, who comes on our show. For those that are regular, he was up there again today. It's many miles, a lot of money, a lot of hard-earned money, and people just not getting anything. Yes, they got a goal. It was a well-worked goal, but it was obviously too little, too late. Carl's also got a video that he put together on his TikTok channel, which he's chuffed with now, rightly so, because Sam Down of Argyle Life retweeted it over there, and his viewership, I think he's going to faint in a minute if it gets any higher.
Yeah, he's gaining some traction, so I'll thank him for that.
I've got to upload it first, so we'll just keep talking away while I do that.
I did have to re-watch it because I didn't think it was true.
No. Well, it'll lead a segue into the actual post-match press conference. So I'm just waiting for it to load up into the streaming service here.
I think whatever context you take it in, like Gav said, it's you shouldn't be saying something like that, especially.
No, so I'm gonna run it now.
But we will work harder than ever and really knuckle down. And like I said, a competition we're top of the league in and can take a bit of positivity for that.
Yeah. So go on, Carl. Give your thoughts on what you picked up on there, which is quite clear to see here.
Well, just mind-boggling, isn't it? I think nobody would have minded a comment like that if you were mid-table or playing well or looking positive on the pitch. But when we're down in the dumps as we are, and to come out with something like that in a competition which we couldn't give two beeps about at the moment is remarkable. And the way it's gone down online, I think that's the feeling from everybody. I know you could take it in a different way, but no, that's poor showing from Tom, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah, and sort of Gavin, to sort of give the sort of fuller context to it. Go on.
He was. Yeah,
let's be candid. Go on, you want to.
No. Rob McNichol basically was just trying to get some kind of positivity out of. He must be awful because his job is to sit here and ask him the same crap every week at the moment, isn't it? And he was like, well, we got Tuesday and it's a different competition, and if we win there, that will give us some positivity, won't it? That was pretty much the pretense of the question, and that was the answer. So if you like anything politically, if you can snip it down to one sentence, the optics are awful. If you play the minute and a half clip, it ain't that bad. And I'm going to happy clap here and say he was done there by a certain board man in the top left of this screen.
Yeah. Who's now got himself even more famous than he already was on TikTok.
It is what it wasn't. He was basically, I think, just trying to grasp at some straws to say, well, Tuesday night, we're top of the league, aren't we? It's a different story. It's a different cup competition.
Yeah, well, as Dave So says, Jesus Christ too, top of the league. Graham Byrne saying, sounds like he's on the Green Mile. SMSL TV, I hate this club hate the fact, that this club has broken Harvey England, the most wholesome Argyle content creator out there. Yeah, he's been doing it, as we learned on Thursday night, since 2019. And he's grown that channel. It's a lot of time committed to it, as all these shows are for all the people and the podcasts that we're blessed with as Argyle fans, or at the moment, it's there's no blessings out there as it stands. We did also hear from, I'm going to play mine again as well. We did also hear from, where's it gone? From Voodoo. I don't know. Oh, actually, I think I might have gotten, where's it gone? Oh, there it is. We also heard from Voodoo earlier. Let's hear from him again.
Right. podcast fans and fellow Argyle fans, that today was enough. Leaving Tegan Finn out of the squad was also unacceptable. Tom, you said judge me after 15 games. Young man, your time is now up. Well, it's time to relax and watch this Block 9 podcast. Good evening, Greens.
The powers of AI. And also, at the start of the show, after the countdown, I did this clip as well. And it's all just to bring some light humour to the dire straits at the moment.
The results, Mick. 1 win in 17. It can't go on like this, can it?
It can.
Good
It
game,
never
good
gets
game.
old, does it? It never gets old.
Oh, Jesus. It's just one of the best ever, isn't it? So there you go. A bit of light entertainment in amongst all the pain and suffering today. So we're just over our hour. Yes, we've made it over an hour. We would say it again. Do we really want to go on for too long on this? But you've all been brilliant in the comments. So I'm going to go back to some of these comments. Steve said earlier, who's running things day to day at Home Park right now? Is it Zach Newton? Who is going to make the decision and when? Well, of course, we can all work remotely these days. So that can easily be dealt with. Voodoo's hallucinating now. Too many of that Chateau Lafitte. Smithy says, was replying to Saki, who, if I don't read that out, it's going to go all weird, but I can't. No, I can't see his comment. Oh, yes, I can. As I said, stop getting ex-footballers as managers. Go and get a proper manager. And his response.
They're all ex-footballers.
Sorry?
They're all ex-footballers.
Yeah, being bottom of being bottom of League One isn't exactly going to be a magnet for a proper manager, and this is where it does make our January window even tougher. Benny Van Life, like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. Thanks for that, Benny. PFC Green Army, good to see you in. How do you feel about Ibrahim loaning? Don't know what he means by that. He did get frustrated again. And as you said at the start, Gavin, both him and Boateng, two players that had done very well up until that international break and have just lost it.
Straight down. When he come off, he went straight down the tunnel.
Well, he did that. He did that against Wickham, wasn't it? When he was subbed, he went straight down the tunnel. Demonia, evening to you. It's testament to poor club management that after 2 promotions in 4 years and 2 seasons in the Championship, we are this much of a shambles. We should be a solid outfit in League One. Yeah, I mean, look, we got that 5-year plan far too quickly, and fairness to Simon, it wasn't expected that quick, and clearly that has not been good for us. Let me just reiterate what I said a few times. There's no way Simon wants his club to be in this position. I think we can all agree on that. Those that want to call Hallett out, that's fine. I don't have any issues with that. But at the end of the day, do you know what? We could be in a worse position. And also, there was no one currently, even though Simon said himself he's relaxed his viewpoint a little bit, there's no one that's looking to buy the club. Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no chairman that hires Wayne Rooney that thinks that he could give us a bit stability, and we were crying out for that when Foster left.
Yeah,
I hired the complete wrong guy, and that's down on Simon, regardless of what he says.
I won't argue with that.
Simon Jordan was bang on TalkSport.
Yeah,
I just wish he would come out and just give some clarification, or just be honest and say, yes, we got it wrong. We thought it would bring investment or whatever else, or we thought he was going to deliver results. But yeah, it was just the name, wasn't it? Just the name.
Yeah, well, look, it is what it is now, and we're suffering for that. Yeah. Mike, been supporting Argyle since the 70s. This is the most miserable period of all, and that includes a Dave Kemp era, as we were.
I was going to say, I was when Steve's there. I was the worst manager I've ever seen. Did you watch Dave Kemp?
So, yeah, well, there we go. So, devoid of desire. Nicholas G saying Harvey is spot on. Saki, I wonder if the players in Cleverley are feeling like this. Doubt it. Hazard did the post-match interview, and I normally clip them and play them out. These last few games, I felt best not to do that and not even show the FOTMOB stats, because that's not going to bring anything positive to the table. But the thing Hazard said, which sort of, I was a bit like, really? He's like, oh, I just got to work harder. Well, that's obvious. And also I've got to get myself, work harder to get better. And it's like, I mean, he's a keeper who's played in the Championship now and is now in League One with a team suffering badly. He pulled off 2 really good saves, was critical of him the last couple of games. Carl and I a few of us were wanting to see Ashby Hammond come back in, but he did pull off 2 good saves again today. That could have seen us even in more dire straits. But it's, I mean, what can you say other than we've just got to do more?
No, you've got to be thrown. It's a thankless task, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because Rob McNichol has probably got the worst job in the club at the minute. Oh, hello, pissed off player who doesn't want to talk to me. What's your thoughts about getting thumped again? Oh, we got to work harder. Okay, thanks for that. Well, what else? Well, we need to look at ourselves. Okay, that's great. What else?
I mean, at the end of the day, that's all they can say.
What else can you say?
Yeah, there isn't anything. No, you're right.
Yeah,
we're dog shit, and but you can't. You just got to just go look through the mill. It's an uncomfortable 3 or 4 minutes. You can't go for that. You get on the coach.
Yeah, you're almost best just to not do it. Where we go?
If you don't do that, then everyone goes, "Oh, they ain't even going in front of the camera."
Dave So saying 3 Saturday home games on the horizon at the end of the month. That could force the issue if if the bullet hasn't already been fired. And also, with that looks like Mick McCarthy in his profile picture at the bottom there or at the top there. He's got to go along with the owner. That's why he's obviously put that in there. Thanks for all those that have retweeted on the relevant channels. Oh, well, certainly on X where it pairs up. So thanks for that. Look, let's not pit you all for any more pain and suffering. I don't think there's anything else that we've got to show. Carl's going to go off and drool over all his TikTok notifications the once in a lifetime where you can suddenly explode when you put the right content out at the right time. So, Carl, final thoughts from you. Will you go to the game on? It's away on Tuesday, isn't it? Will you watch the game on Tuesday even? And what are you thinking as your final thoughts tonight, mate?
No, thank God. I'll be back to work next week, so I'll be back on nights, so I don't have to put myself through that, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably see a heavily changed side, probably, because we're already through. It's a nothing game. I mean, you might want to use it as bringing the confidence up or bringing that winning mentality, but I think it's a nothing game. I would just play some of the youngsters, because at the moment we don't want yet more injuries, because that would just be the icing on the cake. If we played Tolai or, I don't know, Ross, Mitchell, Ibrahim, Boateng, and they drop down like a sack of spuds, then we're really in the dog's doo-doo. But I couldn't care less about Tuesday, if I'm really honest. I want to see a performance or something at Port Vale, but I'm finding it hard to grasp at anything at the moment, or even I just want to see Tegan Finn on that pitch away at Port Vale. I want someone that's going to try and give us some potential outlet, a bit of threat down the side, and just putting some balls in for Tolai, because we know if you get the ball anywhere near him in a good area, he will finish it. And I think Tolai is really the only one that can really do that. I just hope we can turn this corner, but yeah, we need to see some decision making at the top. Will we see potentially, Carl, some more of the youth come in this sort of game where? I wouldn't be hesitant to start Hatch, Seb Campbell. Where's Jack Matthews at the minute? Is he on loan somewhere?
Bath, but he's injured. He's got a hamstring injury.
Well,
he got it at Bath.
To be honest, he's probably more useful injured than what our current back forward doing. So.
Oh, meow.
I mean, I'd even have Peggy on one leg at the moment. It's that bad.
Well,
yeah. Well, to be fair, and also, I mean, Carl's lost all hope. I mean, it's affected his regrowth, so he's decided to shave it off again. He just—that's how bad it's been. So, cheers for that, Carl, and thank you again for joining me on the watch along earlier. It was good fun, even though it was painful. Gavin, so it's been good to get you back on.
I'm going Tuesday, by the way.
You are.
You're not.
I am. Yeah. So I've got. I'll just caveat.
There's a problem with. I think there's a problem with the sound again, Voodoo. Sorry.
I've got meetings in Solihull actually for the day, and they finish about 4:00. And I thought, I'll be getting to Bristol about 5:30. Yeah, go on. Why not? It's Christmas, isn't it? Let's do it. So I'm going to go. Shits and gigs. There you go.
Well,
we'll see. We'll see our new centre mid, if nothing else.
yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Well, we'd hope so.
So, I mean, on that bombshell from Gavin,
I might be the only one there sat on me.
Yeah, you're the only one.
Come on, Argyle, happy clappy.
Because to be fair, Harvey will be in Benidorm, so he won't even be there. So he'll be. He'll definitely be in.
I might be the only one in that massive new temporary stand. Or
it'll be you and that old lady booing and clapping at the same time.
I might try and get the Ouija board out and get the ghost of Umbrella Vi to come with me. He can sit next door and pop the umbrella out as we score. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well,
you need to be a certain age to know who Umbrella Vi is. Sorry, for
even I know who Umbrella Vi is.
Oh, you do? Okay, fair enough.
I don't, so you'll have to tell me about that one at the end here. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm just left with me, LED Nutcracker, and my reindeer, all that side, because Sophie went up to bed about 45 minutes ago. Look, thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight. It's really appreciated. Like I said, let me play it one more time, because all this effort I put into these graphics. Please make sure you do subscribe, give a thumbs up on this video, and press the bell. We are trying to, and we'll try and get some more shorts out as well on that YouTube channel and across the other channels of ours as well, just to keep that content flowing as we just grow what we do. But yeah, we'll be back. I may well be here a Tuesday night for the watch along. I mean, what else have I got? What better things have I got to do on a Tuesday night?
I don't know, just wash your underpants or something.
When they pan to me in the crowd, Mike, I'll get my sponge finger from Argyle. Go, Argyle.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gavin, actually, if there's good enough mobile data there, you could join us live from the game at half time. Now, there you go. Now,
me and you and 7 others that are really bored.
You could Gavin going around go, right, folks, right, Bill, what do you think's going to happen today in the game? Oh, dear.
I will be talking to one of the other empty seats, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. And you probably get some more sense out of them at the moment because everybody else is just done with it all. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tonight. We shall see you. If I do go live, we'll put it out on the channel anyway. But we won't do a live lounge on Thursday because let's just...
Unless we've got something to talk about.
We all need a break. Well, certainly myself as well. So it won't be even Saturday because there'll be no game. Unless something breaks, and of course, we'll look to come on. But then it's going to be very much of like, oh, well, what are the options? And at the moment, I don't know who those would be. But yeah, Graham, thanks for that. Hit the like button on your way out, people. Steve, I can't wait for the Port Vale game, 23rd, 24th, and live on TV. Was it? Oh, okay. So we'll be watching that along on... thingy. So Nicholas G, a good podcast tonight. Thank you for that. And I've read the rest out. So sorry for those who I didn't get to read out tonight. There was a lot of comments coming in, but we always like to keep that chat in view. So I'm just going to play it one last time.
The results, Mick. 1 win in 17. It can't go on like this, can it?
It can.
Let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope it doesn't. Thanks, Mick McCarthy, for giving us such the best football meme. So, ladies